welcome to each and every one of you on this bright sunny day, which marks a golden milestone in the annals of Indian space journey. It's a matter of great pride to note that the first ever Indian private rocket has come to the stage of its maiden flight today, thanks to the relentless efforts of the Indian space community, aided by the recent reforms in space sector. Today's mission reflects the power of synergy between the government and the private sector, facilitated by the InSpace. It is poised to boost the count forward to 2019. We saw a new turning point in the journey of India's space sector when the Union government decided to set up the New Space India Limited (NSIL) under Department of Space (DOS) to commercialize the research and development work of ISRO. It was followed by a visionary and path-breaking decision in June 2020 when the central government opened up the space sector to enable the participation of Indian private sector in the entire gamut of space activities. The decision was taken to enable private firms in building their own rockets, satellites, related ground equipment, etc., so that it contributes to the holistic development of India's space sector. Following the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to enable seamless participation from private players in India's space sector, the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center InSpace was constituted in June 2020. It was formulated as a single window independent nodal agency, which functions as an autonomous agency in the Department of Space of Government of India to boost private space sector economy in India. It was a very significant step taken by Government of India to tap the immense potential of Indian space sector and increase India's share in the global space economy. To give you some context, global space sector is witnessing rapid growth. A recent report projects the global space economy to be worth $469 billion, which grew by 9% from 2020 onwards. It means there is a lot of scope for India to tap this vast market. Hence, the recent space sector reforms were brought in to enhance India's share in global space market majorly through private sector participation. After the announcement of InSpace, its headquarters are set up in Bhopal and was inaugurated on 10th June 2022 by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. He termed the launch of InSpace as a watch this space moment for the Indian space industry, as it would be a precursor to many developments and opportunities in the Indian space sector. He gave the slogan, InSpace is for space, InSpace is for pace, InSpace is for ace, and emphasized on how InSpace, ISRO, NSIL together, along with active participation from the private sector, would take Indian space sector beyond the limits of the sky.
35 confirmed.
The introduction of InSpace as an autonomous body added a new dimension to the government's vision of bridging the gap among the government and private entities working in the space sector. Since its inception, InSpace, in coordination with ISRO, has been playing a pivotal role in boosting the private sector space economy in India. With its role as a promoter, enabler, authorizer and supervisor, InSpace is acting as the cornerstone of space reforms in the country. It has been working closely with the industry, especially the young startups,
setting completed for the launcher.
with ISRO and its centers, NSIL, and with various departments of the government like Department of Space, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Department of Telecom, and Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade to facilitate and authorize the space non-governmental entities, NGEs, to undertake space activities in the country. The space sector reforms have opened a whole new world of opportunities for the industry. There is a revolutionary change that can be seen in the private space industry. We can clearly see an increasing interest from the private players in the sector in last 1 year. There has been a massive boom of startups in the space tech sector. Number of space startups have gone up. As per the Economic Survey of India, till 2021, there were more than 100 space startups registered, which is a jump of close to 500% in the last 5 years. The numbers are set to increase further with reforms by the central government and increase in investment. Traditional vendors to ISRO and MSMEs are diversifying by going up the value chain. L&T and Bharat Electronics Limited, through a consortium, have come forward to take a giant step to manufacture the PSLV rocket. Investment in space sector is increasing. Recently, Skyroot Aerospace received the highest ever funding in the form of venture capital of $51 million, followed by Agnikul Cosmos.
Aims to launch VIKRAM-S, a suborbital rocket from the launching facility at Sriharikota. Some of the pre-integration activities are on your screen. The VIKRAM-S is a single-stage, solid-fuel suborbital rocket which takes about 2 years to develop. and has been built in India using advanced technologies. One of the key technology is the vehicle structure is built from carbon fiber, which is 4 times lighter than steel, making it one of the India's few space vehicles to do so. The other key technology is the use of 3D printing, which was used to build the 4 thrusters, which offer the spin stabilization.
This is such a landmark event for the country. We thank the Prime Minister of India for creating space reforms which enabled us to achieve this milestone. This Vikram rocket can reach hypersonic speeds, that is 5 times the speed of sound within just 25 seconds and reach space within just 150 seconds. This Vikram rocket is one of the world's first few rockets built with all carbon fiber structure, and it has 4 3D printed engines for creating roll stability for the
fired to stabilize the rocket. Then the aerodynamics will kick in and the fin cants will maintain the spin stabilization. The rocket is all through aerodynamically stable, and that is how the control is offered. Around 15 seconds, we will experience the maximum Q and the maximum loads on the vehicle. And we will reach an altitude of more than 80 kilometers and finally splash down and see some 134 kilometers away from Sriharikota coast. So this is the summary of our profile, and you can see the mission is well planned, and we are all waiting for this mission to successfully happen in around 11 minutes, 18 seconds from now, when the liftoff will take place. We will continue our mission speech like this, and Madhuri, why don't you take us further in terms of what is the weather climate and what are the further flight profiles?
Yes, sir. It's a bright sunny morning here in
June 2020. And the Skyroot Aerospace team, in a very short period of 2 years, have come to this point where they could launch the suborbital vehicle, VKS. The ISRO team, the InSpace team, have played a big role in enabling the launch today. And I'm looking forward to a successful launch and a start of a new era in India's space sector.
Back to the live feed, where the rocket view is available to you. The Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Jitendra Singh, flanked by Chairman ISRO and Department of Space Secretary Shri S. Somanath, and also by Shri Pawan Goenka, Chairman of InSpace. These dignitaries have graced this occasion, and it shows the importance. It shows the importance of the launch and the importance which the Government of India is according to this launch. Stable rockets.
Yes, sir. As we wait for the launch, let me just throw some light on it. Today morning's winds were measured using the wind profiler at SDSC. This data was then fed to the mission simulation software, and the corrections required in the launch elevation angle and the launch azimuth angle to compensate for the performance deviations of VIKRAM-S due to this wind are calculated. As you know, these adjustments are possible with the launcher. The azimuth and the launch elevation angle have been set accordingly. The launch azimuth is at 80 degrees and 100 degrees, the LEA and launch azimuth, as I said. And this is what is required for this mission. This is a standard procedure for all the suborbital rocket launches from SDSC.
उड़ान से बस 1 मिनट 10 सेकंड दूर हम लोग, और जैसे मेरी सहयोगी माधुरी जी ने बताया आपको, and we feel the launch along with you, we enjoy the launch along with you. Just 10 seconds to launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Event number 96 completed.
And we have a successful liftoff of VIKRAM-S rocket. I think I should be able to show you the jubilant environment here at the Mission Control Center, where the entire team is celebrating the launch and the spin-stabilized rocket. The views from the launcher camera. In a few seconds, the vehicle will undergo the condition of maximum aerodynamic pressure, followed by the motor burnout, and we will get you those confirmations shortly. The vehicle will experience Qmax around 15 seconds, and at the same time maximum aerodynamic loads will occur. Just to remind the viewers, this is an aerodynamically stabilized vehicle. At 20 seconds flight time, we have reached Mach 5, which means it is flying at 5 times the velocity of sound. And with this, the vehicle has achieved hypersonic velocities. It looks like we do have successful burnout, and the flight trajectory is tracking as per the prediction.
Rocket is now at the altitude of 66 kilometers, 67 now. We have completed 80 seconds of flight time. We are around 34 seconds away from the launch pad, and the totally intended trajectory is being followed. The present altitude is 75 kilometers. As we slowly go towards our target of crossing 80 kilometers and way beyond that, nominally we expect to be around 100 kilometers when the peak altitude occurs. See the screen.
Views from the Mission Control Center.
86 kilometers at altitude. We are at 85 kilometers now, and slowly and steadily we are reaching our peak altitude. If you can see it on the screens, the altitude profile is being shown. Around 133 seconds have passed. We are very close to our peak altitude. We are now at around 88 kilometers peak altitude, and everything has gone as per we have planned. We are very close to the peak altitude now. The peak altitude performance has been reached at around 155 seconds, and now slowly the rocket will start its descent. Actually, it has just started from 88 kilometers. Now it has come to around 87.1 kilometer. The peak altitude being met, this mission today has given a good, successful, satisfactory performance as intended by us.
जी हाँ, एक सफल उड़ान, प्रथम उड़ान विक्रम एस के लिए प्रारंभ बड़ा ही रोचक रहा। यह रॉकेट अपने गंतव्य तक भी पहुंचा और अब अपनी ऑल्टीट्यूड को घटाने की कोशिश में मात्र 70 किलोमीटर की ऑल्टीट्यूड पर अब यह रॉकेट स्थित है।
This rocket achieved the apogee of 89.5 kilometers. That is, the peak altitude achieved by this rocket was 89.5. Our target was to cross 80 kilometers. As you all know, 80 kilometers is commonly defined as the start of space. So this rocket successfully went into space as we intended. And now, after completing its mission of achieving the peak orbit, creating the conditions for the payloads to function, and completing its job successfully, it is on its way back to a safe splashdown in the Bay of Bengal as we have intended. The range right now is 115 kilometers away from Shar, and we expect it to impact somewhere around 130 kilometers away from Shar. The whole thing has gone as per planned. ये बहुत ही खुशी की बात है कि स्काई रूट की तरफ से उनके पहले अभियान में ही जो उन्होंने प्लान किया था, जो हमने प्लान किया था, वो हम सक्सेसफुल रहे, और अब ये रॉकेट अपने स्प्लैश डाउन के बहुत ही नज़दीक है, और हम किसी भी क्षण अब स्प्लैश डाउन करेंगे और ये मिशन सक्सेसफुली अकम्प्लिश हो जाएगा। हम यहाँ पर बधाई देना चाहेंगे इन स्पेस को जिन्होंने इस पूरे मिशन को रेगुलेट किया, गाइड किया। हम बधाई देना चाहेंगे सतीश धवन स्पेस सेंटर श्रीहरिकोटा को जिन्होंने ये हमें फैसिलिटेट किया, इसरो को, इसरो चेयरमैन को। वी थैंक ऑल दिस पीपल. वी आर हम्बल्ड बाय द सपोर्ट विच वी गॉट. Happy views from the mission control, and now we take leave from you. Goodbye from our side, handing over to Shri Pawan Goenka, Chairman in Space, for his speech.
Thank you, viewers. Goodbye.
Thank you, viewers, for joining us. We sign off.
Safety officer, confirm clear launch. Please stand by. We are going for inspection. Losses and clear. Otherwise, normal.
Good morning. I'm happy to announce the successful completion of Mission Prarambh, the beginning of Skyroot Aerospace. The rocket VKS took off at LEA of 80 degrees and azimuth of 100 degrees, achieved an altitude of 89.5 kilometers and a range of 121.2 kilometers, exactly what was planned by Skyroot Aerospace. All systems, as I can make out, worked as planned, and Skyroot Aerospace has demonstrated capability of various subsystems that will go into the orbital launch vehicle. I congratulate Skyroot Aerospace, their team members, and thank various centers of ISRO, specifically SDSC, STRAC, and VSSC, team members of
our Director VSSC, respected guests, our colleagues, and everyone watching this online. We are very excited to announce that we scripted history today by successfully launching India's first privately developed rocket, VIKRAM-S. The vehicle reached space to an altitude of 89.5 kilometers and completed the required mission objectives. This Prarambh mission, as the name signifies, is the big